We're now going to hear about another advocacy project that started on the ground in India, but has started to open up some other aspects of its program globally. Diabesties runs the Back to Basics program, which is focused on helping to bridge the medical education gap in India, which is in part caused by a very overburdened healthcare system. But they've also introduced some online sessions called Ask Me Anything, which are open to people around the world. Here to share more about both of these projects is Asra. Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Asra.
Hi. I've lived with type 1 myself for 37 years, and I understand what Sebastian was talking about. And Snehal said the stigma. Definitely, I was told never to reveal that I'm a type 1 diabetic when I was actually diagnosed. And now I'm on YouTube streaming live.
Yeah.
So, I do volunteer with Diabesties, and we have several advocacy programs and education programs running. At the moment, there's about 8 of them, but I'm going to speak about 3 right now because I live in Saudi Arabia, I'm married to an Englishman, and I have Indian ethnicity where my heart still belongs. So that's where the global concept comes in, that it has to be online.
Yep.
Thanks to COVID, we learned all about Zoom and StreamYard and everything else that comes along with it.
Yeah.
So if I can have my presentation.
Yep, you have slides. I'll pop back at the end with questions, but yeah, take it away.
The idea is to bridge the gap for self-management, and we go to see a doctor, and the doctor is very, very empathetic. He will look after you, but he's only got that 15-minute slot to give you. So he will prescribe your insulin, but the education part of how to use, how to monitor, how to manage your diet, which is everything that comes in with the diagnosis with type 1 diabetes, at the end of the day really ends up falling on you. And with any developing country, whether it's India or in Africa or anywhere else in Asia or even Europe, certain places in Europe, the burden and the cost does overwhelm. So opportunities to cover essential topics like injection techniques. There's a small little thing. Oh, I'm supposed to get the air bubbles out. Your doctor will really not have the time. In Saudi Arabia, where we are very, very privileged, a lot of support is given via our government and our health ministry. A simple thing like a dietitian is not covered by insurance. That has to be paid in cash. And when there are multiple expenses, those things do become barriers. And families are hesitant when they're overwhelmed with all of this information. They really don't know where to ask the question and which question comes first. And in a busy clinic, you do feel rushed. The financial burdens, of course, the logistics of actually traveling to a hospital, out of the hospital, find a parking space if you're actually going, or a public transport which might not be available in your country. And then comes, in India, we do look up to our doctors at almost godlike people. There are other people we are taking our guidance from. So then how do you ask somebody put already on a pedestal to ask the questions that might really be silly questions that you just might need to know, can I eat 1 cookie or 2? Or am I even allowed to touch that cookie? Will I raise my blood sugar by being in a room where there's some cakes? So these kind of questions do arise, which we found at Diabesties that the more education, which I know somebody else mentioned here, education is the backbone of type 1 management. And when we went in for education, we started with a basic program called Back to Basics. People can take any of our 10 topics, go in and book a session on Zoom, and that can really be accessed from anywhere around the world. One of the things is Back to Basics. The other program is Ask Me Anything, whatever you feel like asking me, and that would be type 1 tuition once a month, every single month. So that's 12 sessions a year, and you can literally come in and ask, I'm going on a holiday, what do I need? The other thing that we do always, and that kind of helps, it kind of brings out the teacher in me. I've been a teacher for 30 years of my other life. So I really do enjoy having a curated workshop where we present a topic. And in August, we are concentrating on innovations. Type 1 diabetes is finding a cure. What does Vertex say? These are very different topics for somebody who's recently been diagnosed or has been diagnosed for a very long time, but has never really thought about, oh, is there any other insulin I can think about? For me, in my own case, I was using MDI for 30 years. I didn't even think about a pump until I watched somebody on YouTube. So, yes, it wasn't a doctor who said, can you go get a pump? It was a YouTube person who told me, go get a pump. So I actually went up to my doctor and said, can you talk to me about a pump? The B2B program has 10, like I said, topics which people can go on WhatsApp, send out a questionnaire saying B2B, and the bot will reply to you. They can choose a time, they can choose the topic, and they can choose even the educator they want to talk to. It could be a male, it could be a female educator, it can be something very, very intimate to you, like women's programs. It could be pregnancy, it could be carb counting, it could be going back to school, whatever you are worried about, and you don't feel that your doctor has the time to talk to you about this. Already we have had some research done about the impact of back to basics, and we have been published in the diabetes journal, which is amazing, and the results are there. That is the paper, and you are more than welcome to go have a look at that one. And the next program, before we go to the next one, is the impact that is delivered. And so far, there have been 2,400 sessions. And from that impact, we have evaluated, we do get feedbacks throughout the year, that 23% have had a reduction in their A1C. Now, that is a number I'm proud of. It is available in 12 plus languages, including Arabic. For those living in the Middle East, you can book a session in Arabic. There is any translator. As long as we have an educator and a translator, we will find a way. The timing will be arranged to suit yours and the educator's needs. And the sessions are normally booked for 60 minutes, but on average, we spend 48 to 50 minutes with each T1D. Now, what do the people say about back to basics? A mother of a 7-year-old said, the thing I liked most about this session is that the educator was guiding me with practical tips based on his or her own experience. Yep, I'm trying to have that cookie as well. And not simply reading out from a list of medical instructions. When we talk about it, we do know what we are asking the other person to do. The burden of diabetes is something we too experience. Our monthly workshops are normally, we have streamlined it by this year very, very strictly. So there are 4 workshops presented on different themes throughout the month. It would be one theme that is presented in 4 different ways so that the same topic is better understood. People are given a workshop where they are given some information, and then we leave a 20, 25 to 30 minute open window to ask anything that you would like to know more about with that particular workshop. And these workshops have been fun. We've had an exercise instructor doing a 20-minute HIIT workout with us, and then answering T1D management questions regarding exercise. We've had Yoga Sangha coming in, and they have presented yoga. We've had dietitians present their recipes. We've had absolutely mental health workshops, which are, like we've had the 2 speakers say, are essential, and that has helped all the people who are logging in interested in that topics to say, oh, okay, this month I need to be online with Diabesties for that 1 hour. It is very interactive, and sometimes we even do dress ups. So if you're coming in a Bollywood night, you would need to dress up as a Bollywood person and then learn about type 1 diabetes. Next, what's the impact of the workshops? Well, because they're presented online, Today, remember, I'm only speaking about the workshops I'm involved with. So those would be online, not the in-person in India. That's a whole different topic that's going on as well. There are 12 countries who access our workshops, especially they are mainly Indian ethnic groups that are based all around the world. You kind of see a lot of us brown people everywhere. They would also be people and their caregivers. There would be people living with diabetes as well as their families. And we've had 4,500 participants attend so far, with 48 sessions targeted for 2024. And that's an easy multiplication. Those with carb counting sessions know that we need to know our maths, 12 times the 4. And that has been an amazing experience, not just for the people who are attending, which I'm sure there is their own feedback to us, but for us educators. We learn from you. We learn from the people participating. We hear about the real problems, the lived experience, the what's happening in your home. I don't want to know what's written in the medical textbook. Okay, it's there, but can it be applied to me in my life? And that is what our workshops are intending to do. One of the ladies has said, Seema, living with type 1 herself, I'm following the carb counting hacks. Oh, this was presented last month. To carb counting hacks taught to us in the last session, and now I'm getting a straight line on my glucose graphs. Thank you, Diabesties. Thank you, Seema. The last program that we present online are the type 1 tuitions, which is once a month. It is come along, ask your silliest question ever. And I've got my glasses on in that one because as we age, we do need our reading glasses, and we present our technology questions, anything that anybody could possibly need or want to know about. We are presenting them in a fun way. We are presenting our workshops and our type 1 tuition and back to basic in an empathetic, language matters, language friendly, type 1 language friendly format. We are very, very conscious about, because it's most of the educators are living with diabetes themselves. We know how we want to be spoken to. We know what we don't want it to be told to us. And I really, really run away from the word, you should, you must. Instead, we say, you could try this and see how it goes. One of the ladies, Shruti, has said, I have made changes in my routine as advice to me during the last type 1 tuition session, and it has worked wonders. Now my blood sugar levels are in range more often. And I love the word more often, because we know 100% online on track is impossible. So we look for the more often, the slight improvements, the tiny steps that we can move forward with. That's our education team. It's a big team, and some of us are always there for type 1 tuition. Each and every one is there. Each and every one has their own speciality. My own is children with learning disabilities. So that is where all of us are certified diabetic educators. And with that, we have doctors, mental health specialists, and dietitians, counselors who are there for you. So anyone looking for more online sessions anywhere around the world, we've had people join us from Lebanon, from Pakistan, we've had people join us from Abu Dhabi, from Qatar, very frequently actually from Qatar, and I really, really welcome from Saudi Arabia, of course, and UK, Canada, and the USA. So everyone is more than welcome. Access doesn't mean merely, should it be affordable? Can I get it? So if I can pay the money, pay the fees, or I have the insurance, it will be, that education is available for me. If I don't have it, then bad. It's just bad luck. No, it's available. So that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Asra, for such a wonderful presentation. So we've actually had quite a lot of compliments coming in on your talk. First up from Anna. This is a project I really treasure and would love to see it grow into other languages. From Linda, this is an amazing resource. Learning is not just a straight line And this resource addresses the recursive ways people actually learn and forget. And from Tino, Asra and the entire team from Diabesties efforts show how advocacy and education can transcend borders, making a real difference in the lives of people with diabetes worldwide. Way to go, pay it forward, back to basics, ask me anything. All the hashtags. So I've just got one very quick question for you before I let you go for the evening. You said the sessions are open to anyone from around the world. You listed some of the countries. We have more compliments coming in. If someone from the audience is interested in taking part in one of your Ask Me Anything sessions, how would they go about doing that?
We have our sessions coming up. The program is always available on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn, and our links with Diabesties. You can log in anytime, and it's always free. The timing might be a little bit challenging sometimes because we do work with Indian IST standard time, which would be usually Ask Me Anything as at 9 p.m. But the Back to Basic program, we are very, very flexible. I'm in the UK right now. I might be traveling quite a bit. So as that happens, different educators will choose a timing that is suitable. And that just works quite well since there's so many of us.
Nice. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have you and Jazz from Diabesties on telling us all of this amazing stuff. So thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.